Disturbing discovery.
It is an incredible number.
An Alberta man charged for possessing child sex abuse materials. Allegations against a Calgary daycare centre. And the Alberta dog starring on America's Got Talent.
In show business, they always say never work with animals and never work with kids. Well, I said, screw that.
Good afternoon. We begin with breaking news from the Southwest. A man has been taken to hospital after getting shot this afternoon. Police were called to Connaught Park just before 4. Officers say the man who was shot was taken to hospital in serious condition. Several people have been taken in for questioning. We have a reporter on the way to the scene, and we'll have more details coming up at 6. It's an alarming find at a home in Okotoks. More than 500,000 child sexual abuse images and videos. Now an Okotoks man is facing charges. Alicia Fielberg joins us with the details. And Alicia, police say this is the largest collection they have uncovered.
Ian, Alert's Internet Child Exploitation Unit says that they uncovered more than 500,000 videos and photos, explicit ones, of children connected to this one person. Corey Earhart, 35 years old, is charged with possessing and accessing child sexual exploitation materials. Police arrested the man at his Okotoks home May 26th and seized hard drives and computers. Police said there are tens of thousands of victims, including very young children, but they don't know who they are or where in the world they might be. Okotoks RCMP helped with the investigation, which began in January when the RCMP's National Child Exploitation Crime Centre shared a tip with Alert. Now, the team says the more than 500,000 images and videos is deeply disturbing because it likely was used to trade and fuel demand.
It is an incredible number. And to give it some context, when you look at both investigative agencies that operate out of Calgary and Edmonton, combined in the last 12 months, both units recovered over 600,000 images and videos.
Earhart was released from custody and is scheduled to appear in Okotoks Court in August. Anyone with information on this case is asked to contact their local police service. Ian?
Thank you, Alicia. And police are investigating after a child was hit by a vehicle in the northeast. It happened around 2 this afternoon in the 2200 block of 48th Street. Police say the child was taken to hospital with non-life-altering injuries. The driver remained at the scene. Investigators are still piecing together what happened. Police continue to investigate after 2 pedestrians were seriously injured yesterday afternoon. Investigators say the pedestrians were in a crosswalk when they were hit by an SUV turning left. The impact was so forceful, both people were thrown several meters. Police say the men in their 50s and 20s remain in hospital. The driver is cooperating with the investigation. Police would like to hear from anyone with information about this collision. The Calgary Daycare Centre has been placed on probation because of ongoing non-compliance issues. A probationary license has been issued for Fit Kids Care. The province says the Northwest facility has not been providing adequate supervision, was using physical restraint and punishment, and has failed to report incidents. If Fit Kids Care is unable to meet provincial standards by September 2nd, its license will not be reinstated. In the meantime, the government says a safety plan is in place. A public alert for measles exposure has been issued for Calgary. An infectious person was at the Rockview West Hills Medical Clinic. The exposure time period is May 11th between around 10 a.m. and 12:30 p.m. Anyone in the clinic during that time and not fully vaccinated would likely already be exhibiting symptoms. Those who think they have measles should stay home and call the measles hotline. Health officials say the best protection against the highly contagious disease is 2 doses of the MMR vaccine. Starting in July, Alberta's driver's licenses will also include your health care number and a marker to show if you're a Canadian citizen. That means the next time you renew your license, you'll have to bring proof of citizenship. To get your health care number added, bring your health care card to a registry. Drivers who aren't Canadian citizens will still have to show they're legally entitled to be in the country. The new licenses will be phased in starting July 2nd. The rain has stopped, but the boating advisory is still in effect for the Bow and Elbow Rivers in Calgary. High water levels from the rain and seasonal snowmelt mean it's too dangerous for boating and other water activities. Both the Elbow and the Bow are running fast, plus the water is cold and there's plenty of debris in it. It's also dangerous to be near any riverbanks. The city says some low-level pathways remain closed. But Danielle, you see in those images right there, lots of sunshine. It sure was nice to see the sun this morning.
Things really shaped up today, didn't they? Yeah. The temperatures have been climbing. The wind is calm today. The sun has been out, as Ian mentioned. It's been a really fantastic day because since Saturday night, we've been dealing with, well, this system. You can see it off in Saskatchewan now, still producing some cloud cover for the eastern part of southern Alberta. You can also see what's happening in BC. There's another system on the way, but it will be nowhere near the one we just dealt with. 17 degrees right now at the airport. Winds are relatively calm. They'll likely pick up a little bit throughout these next few hours, up to 40 kilometers per hour. Fog patches developing tonight into early tomorrow morning. Also some cloud cover early in the morning, but that will clear out. So a good chunk of sunshine for the day, late morning, early afternoon. By 4 p.m. we get into the risk of any sort of thunderstorm activity. That's your 24-hour forecast brought to you by Fifth Avenue Volkswagen. Family owned, community driven. Discover more at Fifth Avenue Volkswagen.
Parks Canada says it's still not known when the trail leading to Bow Glacier Falls will reopen. Last year, on June 19th, the rock fall in the area killed 2 hikers and injured 3 others. Parks Canada says nothing could have prevented or predicted the slide. It was the result of geological forces common in mountainous areas. Officials say a geological assessment is ongoing and the trail remains off limits. Anyone caught going into the closure area could face a fine as high as $25,000 or even jail time. And the Spray Lakes Road near Canmore remains closed. On Monday evening, a rock slide happened between the parking areas for Grassy Lakes and Goat Creek. Nobody was injured. The road is closed until further notice. 511 Alberta will have the latest updates. A baby moose found itself trapped in water south of Calgary until a group of people stepped in to help. Stuart Gray spotted the calf swimming in the water on his ranch near Millerville. He didn't think much of it, but 20 minutes later, it was clear the animal could not get out. He called a friend who helped rescue the moose, but it was no easy task because of the reeds.
As you saw Rob trying to get out of there. So unless you're standing right on top of a root ball, the reeds there, you're plunging down quite a bit. So that little guy he was going to have a hard time getting out of there.
The little moose trotted into the forest where Gray believes it was reunited with its mother. Well, 2026 has already been a great year for a couple of Olympic medalists. Just ahead, they tell us how excited they are to be named Calgary Stampede parade marshals. And 2 premiers, both facing separatist movements, find common ground in their meeting today. Also, if you have a news tip, text us at 10400. Danielle Smith was in Quebec City today, pitching that province's new premier and its business leaders on economic cooperation and partnership. Smith and Christine Frechette both say they want to make interprovincial trade simpler and work together in manufacturing, tech, agriculture, and energy. Smith even says there's mutual interest in an east-west energy corridor. It was all discussed in a closed-door meeting.
I am here to build new linkages as our 2 provinces, Alberta and Quebec, Queberta, I guess we're calling it, truly model the ideals our country was built on. In Canada, we chose the decentralized federation model composed of unique and diverse provinces left to govern themselves. And in governing ourselves, we must come together within our federation to build closer ties.
The Parti Québécois is currently leading in Quebec's polls ahead of an October provincial election. It has promised a separation vote in its first mandate should it win. 2 Olympians who thrilled Canadians at the Milan Cortina Games will share Stampede parade marshal duties.
I've always wanted to attend the Calgary Stampede, so to be able to come and be the parade marshal, I'm like, it's surreal and really unexpected.
No, it's a huge honor. I was very excited when I got the news. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. It's pretty crazy. It's my first Stampede. I'm a first timer.
Courtney Sereau won 4 medals in Italy in short track speed skating, and Mikhail Kingsbury won gold and silver in freestyle mogul skiing. They have both trained and competed in Calgary. The Stampede says they were chosen for representing excellence, resilience, and Canadian pride on the world stage. We'll be broadcasting the Stampede Parade live on CTV Calgary and streaming it on our website, ctvnewscalgary.ca. Our coverage starts at 8:55 a.m. on Friday, July 3rd. Something to look forward to. All right. In your forecast, you had fog overnight. That's interesting.
Yeah, we have a good amount of moisture still out there, right?
Yeah.
So fog patches certainly, especially with those calmer winds. And temperatures, I was saying that we're going to get a good amount of sunshine for tomorrow, but I just looked at the latest model runs and I'm going to take that back a little bit, just so you know. I'm going to give you the updated forecast right here. Okay, so right now there's nice little poofy clouds out there. There's some blue skies, some sunshine. Temperatures, well, we just climbed to 18 degrees in the city. So pretty much where we should be. 19 is a normal daytime high for this time of year in Calgary. Look at these 18s, 18, 18, 18 in Banff, 18 down in Lethbridge, Pincher Creek, Milk River. So yeah, we have warmer temperatures than what we've had since Saturday, really, in all communities. The winds are calm today, so that makes it even nicer to be outdoors. 31 has been our maximum gust in Calgary, in those low 30s for Brooks and higher 30s for Medicine Hat. All right, there's a look at that system that impacted us, and it doesn't look all that impressive, to be honest, off into Saskatchewan. When it was rolling up along the mountains, not only did we have the rainfall from the system itself, but it forced air up the mountains with that counterclockwise spin, and that created that upsloping and that enhanced rainfall that we got with our system, which is why in some communities, Calgary included, we saw over 100 millimeters of rain. All right, so that's out of the way, just some residual cloud cover in the east end. But this is the next system on the way, and it will be nowhere near what this system did. But it will give us the chance of thunderstorm activity for tomorrow and some isolated showers as well. Right now, we're in the clear. There is that little bit of development that we talked about, well, right up against the mountains, and it's stable enough that that should stay, as you can see, right up against the mountains here. All right, advancing this, let's go through till tomorrow, and tomorrow there will be a good amount of cloud cover. We should also get some decent sunny breaks, but there is even the isolated chance of showers in the morning, some decent cloud cover, fog patches for the early morning as well. And then by 5 p.m., 4:30, 5 o'clock is when we get into the risk of showers and even some thunderstorm activity. So the highest risk of thunderstorms is down QE2, just to the east and west of the QE2, and Calgary is included in this. And then that shifts off to the east, but it looks like it will die out a little bit when it shifts off towards Hanna, Oyen, Coronation areas. Okay, the longer range forecast looks like this. Temperatures will not get excessively hot or excessively cold. We're sticking pretty much around normal for the most part, except for Sunday. So 19 degrees, that's a normal daytime high for this time of year. Again, some sunny breaks, good amount of cloud cover, fog patches in the morning, thunderstorms possible later in the day. Less of a chance of that on Friday, a greater chance once again on Saturday. Saturday, things start to cool down a little bit, 17 degrees, and then by Sunday in those mid-teens.
Thanks, Danielle. An art show this week will feature the work of adults with intellectual disabilities. L'Arche Calgary is featuring the works at C-Space from adults in its art program. Organizers say it's a chance to raise awareness about L'Arche Calgary and what it does for adults from 20 to 80 years old. The art show is also a fundraiser.
We're a non-profit organization and we have to support ourselves. This is fundraising for them. So the portion goes to our artists, and then the other part goes back to their program, where we can buy supply, or we can support them with programming.
For many involved in the program, it's the first time they've sold a work of their own art. You might not think the Strait of Hormuz and the Strait of Georgia are connected, but they are now. Still to come, how the conflict in the Middle East is making it more expensive to take a ferry in BC. Stocks in both Toronto and New York lost a fair amount of their value today. Joining me is Liana Wachniak, investment advisor with the Popwich Carmeli Advisory Group. And Liana, the TSX and the Dow Jones both sold off over 1% today. What happened?
That's right, and it was a bit of an interesting day to watch that. Really what happened was twofold. The number one thing that was kind of driving markets south today was more increasing worries about the conflict in the Middle East, how long that might go on, and what that might actually do to the economy globally. We did see oil tick up over $2 over the course of the day. So that was a pretty big move on that front. So that really played into some of the pessimism around trading. We also saw a chunk of the tech sector sell off after the gains we've seen over the last couple of days. Some of the excitement pulling back. We're also seeing Broadcom, which is a major player in that area, report today after the market close. So that was partly in preparation for some more of that news. So definitely something to keep an eye on, but we'll probably see that sector be volatile for a little bit yet.
And this makes a vacation in Cuba even more challenging. You can't use Visa or MasterCard there.
That's right. And this is in response to a U.S. sanction that was put in place in the month of May, actually. There's a third-party payment processor that is connected with a government-run conglomerate there in Cuba that has said they're basically suspending operations and suspending their intermediary status because of those new U.S. sanctions. That means that companies that are selling goods outside of Cuba can't receive payment because their payments are not being processed by this third party, meaning that Visa and MasterCard have effectively been shut out of the country, as the central bank announced today. That'll be starting June 6th, and it's just one more tough economic blow to the nation that has been struggling under the U.S. pressure over the last few months.
Liana, thanks very much.
Thank you.
Albertans who plan a vacation in BC this summer may find it's more expensive to take a ferry. BC Ferries is adding a 5% fuel surcharge after the conflict in the Middle East sent fuel prices soaring. Whether you're driving onto the ferry or walking on as a passenger, you'll have to pay more starting June 16th. BC Ferries says it will drop or lower the surcharge once fuel prices stabilize or decline for an extended period. The province is launching a 2-year pilot project aimed at certifying workers faster for high-demand trades. The pilot will target welding, steam fitter, pipe fitting, instrumentation, and ironworking. The province says an adaptive learning program will assess the participants' existing knowledge, identify gaps, and tailor training to individual needs. Officials say that will speed up the credentials process while also meeting trade safety standards. About 200 people will be part of the first program. An Okotoks man is facing charges of possessing a vast collection of child sexual exploitation materials. Here's Tara Nelson with a look ahead to CTV News at 6.
Hi, Ian. Police say over 500,000 photos and videos were found on several hard drives seized. Coming up at 6, we'll tell you what we've learned about Corey Earhart's criminal history, plus Child First Canada's reaction to the shocking number of child sexual exploitation images that have been found. Also ahead, Southern Alberta farmers say this week's rain was a welcome relief, but it is a different story for farmers in the northern part of the province. We'll explain why coming up at 6. We'll see you then. Ian.
Thanks, Tara. It's a role for which there's no training, no resume, no qualifications, but a fair amount of responsibility. In The First Lady Next Door, a Canadian's memoir of Iceland, identity, and unexpected adventure, Eliza Reid looks at her 8 years as First Lady of Iceland. And joining us from Reykjavik is Eliza Reid. It's great to see you today.
Thanks so much for having me on the show.
So your husband was a history professor. It was never really on his radar to go into public office. So how much of a shock was it to you to become the First Lady?
It was pretty much a shock. I think it's fair to say the very short version of the story is that we had a political crisis here early April 2016, and my husband was the political expert, sort of non-partisan political expert called on television. And it was right at the time we had a presidential election, and people saw him on television and literally started calling our house to encourage him to run. And so within a couple of weeks, he had to decide, and the campaign itself was 7 weeks long. So it is fair to say that it was not something that I ever expected would happen.
You grew up just outside of Ottawa. Was there anything in your background that would have prepared you to be a First Lady?
I don't think so, really. Well, maybe a first lady in the sense that you have to meet a lot of people. And I was really raised, of course, as I hope many of us are, to be kind to everybody, curious about other people and what they're doing, grateful for opportunities that I had. And certainly serving as first lady, I had wonderful opportunities to meet people from all walks of life doing all kinds of wonderful things. And really, they all left me very inspired.
To see my extended interview with Eliza Reid, visit ctvnewscalgary.ca. A little sunshine mixed with the possibility of some showers to end the work week. Right now in Calgary, partly cloudy and 18 degrees. Danielle has details coming up. Well, if you like typical weather for early June in Calgary, you got it.
Here it is. Yeah. So we're done with the whole whack of rain, which, as we discussed, good for the farming community. A little tricky in some parts of Calgary with some overland flooding, some basements flooded, some power outages, you know. 18 degrees is that current temperature, 19 is normal. So we are right where we should be, and we'll continue to be right where we should be for the next couple days. Now, late day tomorrow, good chance of a thunderstorm, smaller chance on Friday, and then another good chance into Saturday. By the weekend, we start to cool down, so 17 for Saturday and the mid-teens by Sunday.
Thank you, Danielle. It was an acrobatic show for the ages with an Alberta twist on the program America's Got Talent Tuesday.
From Edmonton, Alberta, Canada.
The Supernova Acro group from Edmonton and world-renowned dog trainer Jennifer Fraser put on a show on the first episode last night. Fraser came up with the idea of combining acrobatic dogs with human acrobats. Safe to say they were a hit. They got a standing ovation and the coveted golden buzzer, which means the group skips the rest of the qualifying rounds and goes directly to the quarterfinals. And Fraser says they haven't seen anything yet.
In show business, they always say never work with animals and never work with kids. Well, I said, screw that. Let's put them together on the biggest stage in the world and let's see what they can do. And that's what happens when you don't restrict yourself, when you really keep the door open and allow yourself to be creative.
And this Alberta team is heading back to California in August. Each performance from here on out will be performed live, and Fraser says they will be ready for it. Very exciting indeed. Thank you for joining us. Now here's the early edition of the CTV National News.